Dear Heels. So my name is Ash. My family's from the Dominican Republic. I grew up in New York City, specifically the Bronx, and now I live in Las Vegas, also known as Southern Peyote Land. So what do I do? I make spiritual content. I talk about spirituality. I have a Patreon where I also share spiritual content, share things that I do in order to bring healing to my life. And I teach on my Patreon a lot. I teach how to heal yourself, how to do spells, how to do cleanses. And so that's what I do. That's what Magic Touch Botanica does. Is share classes, shares information, and then also shares and creates products that can help you in your life.
Nice. Well, I'm Jay. I'm also Dominican descent, born in Brooklyn from both my parents, born and raised in Dominican Republic. Um, I am a all around, I always say that, all around modern bruja. I focus on decolonizing and demystifying spirituality. Very heavily focused on ancestor work. So that's how I bring in um, my piece here with the DR Heals is like decolonizing, understanding where we've come from, going through the history. Very, my magic is very practical and also very spiritual. So,
Yeah. I feel like the part that I add to DR Heals is really pushing us to shed the things that we've been taught about who we're supposed to be. And I really bring that into my work too, and here of just recognizing the ways that shame has been used to keep us in a box, recognizing the ways that our power has been taken, and then learning that, unlearning that, so that we can reclaim our power, feel more powerful in the decisions we make, and feel more powerful and being able to change the world because we are changing the world.
right. And as the child of the colonizer and the colonized, we have very specific generational trauma that we need to work through. And it's great to work in community, right? To work, we like to hold space in a small, right, small group setting. And we say hold space, and I feel like some people might be like, well, what the heck is that? We're not just talking at you, right? We are going in dialogue, we're talking in community, we're not just saying these are the things that you need to do in order, for you to live your best life. We kind of guide you through that so that those light bulb moments can come to you either during the session or like after the session, for you to be like, oh man, this makes sense now, or that makes sense why my childhood was like that, because it could be generational healing, inner child healing. So many different things can come up during these sessions. So
Yeah, and that's what I love about DR Heels is that like Jay really, really brings in the history and really connects the history to our lived experiences and how like after our 3 months what I really held on to was the fact that we are not at fault for some of the things that we went through.
right,
That it's a historical thing, that it's not even like just our family, it's a history of violence that's been passed down, and recognizing how we have the power to end that in our lineage, and recognizing what are those cycles in our lineage, because everybody's family has different cycles that they're repeating and passing
right,
down. And DR Heals really lets you have that space of putting those connections together, but also recognizing how you can break that. Also
right,
recognizing like what ideas, what narratives am I holding on to that's actually stopping me from moving forward, stopping me from really, accepting your identity as a Dominican person. Um, so I really love this space and I'm really excited for the next 3 months. And yeah, what was your favorite workshop that we did?
oh man, I know we did. I'm like thinking back through it. I was actually just thinking about how I like that they're a monthly workshop, right? Because every month is so different, and it gives you
Mhm.
the opportunity to like sit back and absorb like the conversations that happen in community. We give you journal prompts, we do all the, extra reading materials if you wanted to go through that. Um, but I like the immigration, talking about how immigration impacted us, right? Especially because some of us might be born here, Some of us might have been born in Dominican Republic and immigrated here, but either way, immigration affected our families a specific way, right? It's all very different for it looks different for everyone, but it's interesting the family dynamic that happens because of immigration.
Yeah, yeah. Like I like learning that too and sharing that. But really thinking about how when I think about Dominican culture, I don't think of like our culture is patriarchal, but I also think that it's more woman empowered, more woman led.
Mhm.
Um, but I think about how go like that immigration story and how that power dynamic changed too because of what was happening, because of like survival and because of like you're in America now and you need to
Right,
figure that.
right. So that is really interesting how it affects the family unit and then how it affects us as people in that family unit. So,
Yep, yep, yeah. So yeah, it's 3 months of history, of unpacking,
mhm,
of relearning, of unlearning, and it's just beautiful to see. Like one of the things that I really loved was seeing people have those light bulb moments and seeing the difference between the first session and the last session.
right.
Like I can name like some people that I saw just look a little bit freer. Like you
Mhm,
can feel that the weight got lifted off them where they weren't holding on to like they just weren't holding on to stuff. And I really hope that like this next 3 months for those who want to join that you get that too where you're
mhm.
getting a weight lifted off you where you're feeling like you can move forward and see things more clearly, see your
Right,
life more clearly and yourself more clearly.
right. Sometimes I do feel like we think that our family is the only one that has these like dysfunctional tendencies, whatever it might be. But you're like, man, is it just my mom that's like this crazy or that treats my sibling different from me or whatever? And we talk about that too and how history played a role in the way that our parents treat us.
Yeah, yep.
So
Yeah.
that's a something to think about too that I like to that we've gotten out of like previous cohorts. So
And also how like our like spirituality is tied to our cultural relationship and how like our parents treat us. Because I think about when we were talking about nicknames and how important nicknames are, whether
mhm.
it's to shame you, uplift you, or protect you.
Right,
And
or all three.
yeah, or all three,
All
literally.
three at once. Yeah. I love it.
And how is very specific to DR, like it's very
Mhm.
specific to our culture. And like, yeah, I wouldn't have known that had all of us met together and all of us shared like our horrible but also great experiences with our nicknames.
Right. And it's not all, it's not all sadness.
Yeah,
There is laughter and, or healing and laughter as well. And so it's nice to be able to crack jokes and do all that too. So,
yeah, yep. And you literally like only Dominicans get each other. You
right.
know, like there are certain things that I can laugh about and joke about with people who aren't Dominican, and they will laugh, but to be able to share that with Dominicans is a
De
whole
lo
nother.
mío, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, so we hope this space offers you that. Like, I know for me, I don't really have a lot of Dominican spaces that I can turn to. And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to create this.
Right.
Was that, whether you're like me who really felt very detached from my Dominican identity or culture because of trauma, or you are super like really in your Dominican identity, know everything about DR. Like this is a space where all people are welcomed and we can all still share in community with the fact that we're all Dominican.
Right. Right. And you don't have to be spiritual, right?
No, you
To
don't.
join. It doesn't but we always like to share that we are spiritual people just in case, because if we're not for you, we understand and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we do like to share, and we don't get too crazy brujas spiritual in the group anyways, but we do like to share that we are both spiritual people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Is there anything
I
else we want to add?
don't think so. I think that's good.
Yeah. So just again, it's 3 months. It's
Mhm.
one workshop every month. In between the workshops, where we do journal prompts, and we have a community space where you can talk to each other, talk to us, share
Right.
resources. I know our last cohort, we shared a lot of videos, a lot of books,
Mhm.
that you can read to just know more about our history and also just unpack things that maybe we've been holding on to.
Right.
But it's 3 months of deep healing, but also community.
Yes. To get you started on your own personal, or not even started, if you're already on a path and you want to just continue on, help you through that piece.
Yep, yep.
So I guess that's
Yeah. So when is it? Oh no, we're not going to talk about dates.
it. Nope, because we're sending this to each cohort.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reusing this video each time. But if you feel called to, then you can fill out the application and then you'll get to hear from us on how to move forward after that.
Yes. So thank you for watching this video, and we hope that you join
Yes.
and do videos.